We're back. Another episode of Expandable, and we're going to jump right into it. Today, we want to talk about sales opportunities lost. And, I live in the B2B world, so a lot of businesses selling to other businesses, and we track that through a CRM deal, or the deal pipeline, and you have a certain percentage of deals that are hopefully moving steadily through your pipeline. And at the end, you have deals won, deals lost. And I think a lot of times sales teams can, or even individual salespeople, if you're a smaller business, they can forget about all the time and energy they put into that deal they were working on closing that didn't close. And I guess really the advice for this is to look back at your old deals that you didn't win, or you lost to someone else, or they fell apart for some reason, and do this on a timely basis, like every 6 months, every 3 months.
I think that's extremely important because you already broke that first barrier of having interaction with them and having conversations. Right. And, going back, they may not, if they chose someone else, who knows if they're happy with them.
That's right.
First and foremost. Yep. And from there, I don't know about you, but, part of my mind when I do choose, whether it's even hire a new employee or software, it's consistency, that they're going to be in that industry for long term, that they're not jumping from one thing to another. Yeah. And, if that company has gone through a lot of salespeople, right then and there, something's up. That's a negative.
That's true. That's actually probably the most important point maybe to make, because I've seen it so many times. Like, you just think about it as human nature. Whenever this sort of courting process ends and you don't get married, or, something happens and it doesn't go the right way, it doesn't necessarily mean that they found the one they're going to be with.
No. And if you are gracious in defeat,
yes,
and that is a great business, they just didn't choose you. Maybe there was a better alternative.
If you've demonstrated that you are a good solution, you have a good solution, and for one reason or another, because there's politics that happen behind the scenes and sales internally, they didn't go with you. I think following up on that, knowing what the onboarding should look like, since you offer that same solution, let's say they went with another competitor, knowing what onboarding should look like and knowing where that can fall apart, that's a great place to insert yourself back into that conversation. Because if it's going to fall apart, it's going to fall apart then.
Yes.
So your chance of actually selling them later on is probably 50-50, honestly. Getting back in touch with somebody, email and say, hey, I know you didn't choose us, but it's been 3 months and I just wanted to see how onboarding was going. That could hit.
They're really good.
That could hit a nerve for someone to say, yeah, they're horrible, and I mean, I've seen it. And so there's a perfect time, not that you want to jump back in on that dialogue, but you can say, we're here, we have this solution off, and this is how our onboarding works. And I mean, it's a perfect time to really be the favorite at whatever cost.
And I don't know about you, but I may be solicited by a very quality product that I like, but it's just bad timing.
Yeah. It's all about timing.
Yes. And even when we, our main products, commercial lending, bank accounts, that's a high. You're asking somebody to do work. I mean, to switch bank accounts. And if they've got, direct deposits, they got this, all they're thinking of, I got to go through all that. I got to remember my utility bills. I got to move it over. So it's not an impulse decision once they're already established somewhere. So, that's sometimes a long-term sales. I've gotten relationships that somebody I've talked to 5 and 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But, I think what ultimately won that was, consistency. You're still there.
It's also a very similar conversation to whenever you have a customer service issue that blows up and you fix it, this sort of old adage where if you fix it, you do a great job on customer service, then you're going to have a customer for life. It's a very similar type of thing, except for you haven't done anything on the front end. You're just following up, and it's showing that, hey, you still care. You actually do care. I can't imagine the situation if you were to do that. You lose a sale, you follow up later, it blew up on them, you came in, saved the day, then maybe a year later you have a customer service issue that you fix. they're not going anywhere. They're there forever.
I guess, I guess what it is don't burn bridges, really.
Yes. Yes. A couple other things to mention, kind of quickly here is that I think it also can be a moment of learning in your business to know why did you lose it. So asking permission for the person who said, yeah, we're going with someone else, or we decided not to do anything, asking their permission to get kind of an answer to the why. Why did you not choose us? We'd love to learn so we can make it better for the next prospect that comes through the door. They're going to give you some feedback. And
now, have you ever had feedback where you're like, I think they're lying to me. I don't think they're telling me the real reason.
Oh, of course. Yeah. You have to kind of sift through it. Some of it's going to be sugar coated.
Yeah.
But asking for it is the practice to put in place, because over time those add up. Another thing, just since we're on the topic of a sale happening, is one thing I like to do is to embed testimonials, ask for testimonials into the sales process. So, or reviews, or whatever platform that you're looking to get some word of mouth share on, kind of embedding that into your agreement or into the final part of your negotiations is a great place to talk about how they're going to talk about you once you've performed. So, at the end, it's like, okay, we've got our whole scope of work together and everything is there. As part of this, we always ask our clients to leave us a review on LinkedIn or, on Google, wherever it makes sense for your business. Is that something you're willing to do as part of our deal? And then they're almost
it's like
always
recorded
yes.
when you call in.
Yeah.
If you would like to hold on for a recorded survey after the fact.
Yeah. Absolutely not. Next. Then when you get to the end or towards the end of finalizing whatever you're working on, or to the first or second milestone, you can bring that back up to say, remember, we talked about doing the review. This is how it works. And it's very simple, seamless. You go here, you click this, record this, talk to this person, whatever you've set up. I think that's a tremendous way to build in growth to your business, because if you're talking to the right people, they're a good fit. There's alignment there. They're going to want to tell other people.
It's a way to mix in marketing with already ongoing operations.
That's right.
It just mixed in, and that should be the most reliable.
I think a lot
depending
of people,
on if
a lot of people want to sing your praises, but they just aren't. That's not the first priority when they wake up in the morning.
No.
And they don't really know how. They're not going to do the work to figure it out. So if you make it easy for them and remind them gently, you're going to get a lot of people to come back and do that.
I agree.
Yeah. So all sales opportunities, I think the moral of the story are not all lost. I think if you lose something, just remember that it's a longer time horizon that you should be thinking on or playing on with your.
And word of mouth is still the best. So
100%.
Even if you lost that relationship, but they found you lost it with dignity, and that individual they're going to be like, oh, I feel bad I didn't leave my business. He really good. Next, coworker or other business they're with, and they may be looking for somebody in the industry. Like, hey, why don't you check out Lee? Why don't you check out Ryan at Surety? Right. So, I've gotten referrals from people that have had relationships with other banks for a long time, and their bank did nothing wrong.
Yeah, there's a connection there.
They leave, but they like to, so they refer you. So